Have you ever wanted your own force field? Hi, I'm Stephanie, I'm a registered nurse, and this is Sniffles with Snuffle. Do you have skin? If you're a human, then you absolutely do. The fancy word for it is the integumentary system. This consists of hair, skin, and nails. How much do you actually know about it? Even though it's something we all see every day, it probably has a lot of functions that you're unaware of. Given the beating that we all put our skin through, wounds, burns, temperature changes, chemicals we expose it to, it's a wonder that it actually performs as well as it does, and it actually protects you from a lot of different things. Skin is one of the many superheroes of the body. It keeps the inside of your body inside and the outside outside. This is why it's like a force field. This is a lot of information to be delivered in a short time, so let's put on our seatbelts and dive in. The skin is divided into two parts, the epidermis and the dermis. Epidermis is the part that we see and is created of about 90% keratinocytes. These cells are formed in the layer closest to the dermis, and as they move outwards from the body, they begin to die and become more keratinized, which means they gain this protein that hardens and forms a barrier against harmful bacteria and funguses and parasites, as well as it protects the cells underneath from damage from UV radiation and water loss. The bottom few layers of keratinocytes are also what help to produce vitamin D when you are exposed to the sun. The other 10% of your epidermis is actually created of three different types of cells: melanocytes, Merkel cells, and Langerhans cells. I probably said that last one wrong. I keep mispronouncing it. Langerhans. Now, melanocytes are cells which give our skin its color through synthesis of melanin. Now, melanin protects the delicate cell nuclei and helps the cells to function as opposed to being damaged by UV radiation from the sun. Merkel cells function as an extension of the nervous system, so they allow you to have that sense of touch. Langerhans cells function as part of your immune system and are the front runners for getting rid of bacteria and parasites and funguses and such. This top layer of your skin, the part that you see, it sloughs off about every 45 days or so, and therefore your whole top of your skin is actually replaced every 45 days. It's undergoing constant renewal. That's the epidermis. The second layer underneath your epidermis is the dermis itself. Now, the dermis itself is actually made up of two layers. You have the papillary layer and the reticular layer. The papillary region has bumpy projections called papilla, which allow these skin layers to stick together, and the bumps of the papillary region actually give you your fingerprints as well as your unique footprints. The reticular region is where you will find the hair follicles, oil and sweat glands, and most of the blood vessels for your skin. Now, there is a layer between the skin and what we would call the underlying tissues, the rest of your body underneath the skin, and that's called the subcutaneous layer. Subcutaneous tissue is not actually part of the skin, but it does create that padding and insulation between your skin and the rest of your body. The subcutaneous layer actually has about 50% of your total body fat. Now let's talk about the different features of the skin. First, sweat glands. You actually have two different types of sweat glands. First is eccrine, and the second is apocrine. Eccrine sweat glands mainly serve for temperature regulation, so they help to keep you cool whenever you sweat and there's a breeze, cools you down. When we get too cold, the outer blood vessels, all the blood vessels in the skin start to shrink up, diverting that blood to the inside of your body to keep the inside of your body warm. There's actually quite a bit of your blood that is actually stored in your skin. These eccrine sweat glands actually mostly produce just a simple salt solution. Apocrine sweat glands, on the other hand, actually are present in your armpits and in your groin area. Now, these produce more than just a salt solution. It's also a solution with proteins and fats in it. Now, because it has proteins and fats, there's little bacteria that live on your skin that are like, that looks yummy, eat it, and then the waste from the bacteria is actually what causes the sweat in those areas to smell. Now for a little bit of a hairy subject. Hair is produced by hair follicles and is heavily keratinized, similar to the outer layers of your skin. The difference between hair and nails and skin is that hair and nails have a hard keratin layer while your skin has soft keratin. Because of this hard keratin layer, it means that the hair is very durable and the individual cells don't flake off. The shaft of hair is the part that we actually see, and the root is in the skin. The hair grows from the root, which actually has a couple of things surrounding it. One would be a nerve, which actually means that your hair, so like when you can touch the hair on your arm, and even if you're not touching your skin itself, you can still feel it because of the nerves around your hair follicles. Secondly, you have a little bitty muscle that actually attaches to your hair follicles called the erector pili. And that basically means that whenever you get cold or whenever you get scared, those muscles contract and pull those little hairs up, which is very useful in animals because it puffs up their fur and keeps them warmer. It doesn't really serve that much of a function in humans. Hair itself has 3 layers, the medulla, the cortex, and the cuticle. So the medulla is the inner part, and it actually has soft keratin in it. That means the hair is going to be pliable. The next part is the cortex. It has hard keratin and allows the hair to have its bulk and its strength. And the outer layer is the cuticle layer. Actually, the hard keratin cells lay like shingles on a roof to help slough off the water and keep your hair nice and smooth and separated from other hair strands. If there is too much friction and damage, then the cuticle will actually wear away on the ends, and that's what causes split ends because then the medulla and the cortex are exposed. Fun fact, hair color is dictated by the amount of melanin that you have in your skin, as well as whenever you start getting older and your melanin production isn't as great around your hair follicles, your hair turns white because of air bubbles. The last thing I want to talk about within your actual skin is your oil glands. Now, your oil glands are very similar to your sweat glands. However, what they produce is called sebum, which is this oily substance. This sebum not only acts as a lubricant for your hair and as well as helping keep your skin hydrated, but helps prevent water loss as well as helps to kill bacteria that live on your skin. Oil glands are actually everywhere except for the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Just like hair, it doesn't grow on the palms of your hands and it doesn't grow on the soles of your feet, so you don't have oil glands there. Now, oil glands produce sebum, as I said, and when the sebum starts backing up, it can create whiteheads, those little blockages. So sometimes you'll see like little spots of white on your skin that are those whiteheads. When the sebum reacts with the outside air, it can do what's called oxidize, and when it oxidizes, they become blackheads. When blackheads or whiteheads become infected, they become pimples. And those hurt. After learning about skin and hair, there's not really a whole lot to say about nails, except that they are a modification of the epidermis, that outside keratinized layer. Nails contain hard keratin just like hair. These nails can provide protection for the sensitive nerves in your fingertips and in your toes, as well as to provide useful tools for things like scratching and itch. Now that we've learned just a little bit about hair, skin, and nails, you can see how great your skin is on a variety of levels or layers. It protects you, as well as providing body temperature regulation, preventing water loss. It protects you while providing body temperature regulation, allows you to help sense the world around you, stores blood, synthesizes vitamin D from the sun, and actually can excrete some waste through your sweat. Thank you for watching this video. I apologize that it wasn't posted last week. Last week I was a bit under the weather, so I'm having to postpone things a little bit. But I appreciate you bearing with me. If you learned something from this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, if you have questions or comments, I would love to hear from you down below. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit more about yourself on this journey to health.